Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and according to one rather wealthy investor with a background in finance, a wall of money is about to enter the world of crypto. And so here's a headline from dailyhodl.com. Enormous institutional wall of money will push Bitcoin to $1 million, says macro guru Raoul Pal. Now, I've got plenty to say on this, but before we even really get going, let's acknowledge that, and this would really be something. $1 million Bitcoin with a supply of 21 million means that the market cap would be $21 trillion. Now, it's a bogus argument no matter what cryptocurrency you're talking about to say, oh, we can't get to that price level because market cap. Anybody that says that, it just indicates to me that they don't understand what market cap is, why it's used, because it's just one of many metrics to consider when investing into cryptocurrency, or a stock for that matter. And they don't understand what the net inflow of money flowing into a particular asset actually does and how much money has to flow in to get any asset to a particular price point here. Also worth citing before we get going further too, that look, I understand we're talking about Bitcoin here, but I have a few things I want to say because frankly, if this happens, the multiplier effect for a cryptocurrency like XRP in terms of price appreciation, assuming it actually has staying power, as I certainly hope and believe it will, it would be staggering. Because it's not going to be one coin to rule them all. I could not feel more firmly on that. I want to be clear, I don't have a financial background. So just want to be clear, I'm not offering financial advice. You absolutely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just your everyday Joe Schmo guy who happens to enjoy talking about this stuff, and I don't have any friends or family in my real life that enjoy this anywhere near as much as me, so no one to talk to about it. So I've got you guys, though. You guys are weird like me, and you also like following this stuff regularly, so that's awesome. So just to be clear, it's why I'm here, and it's fun to make YouTube videos. Before we go any further, if you would please delicately tap the like button, I would definitely appreciate the support. And also, if you're a fan of Ripple and XRP, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel. It is the Moon Lamboest of all channels on the YouTubes. There's science behind that. As I record this, XRP is at 25.6 cents. Bitcoin's at 11,402, so been holding steady over the last day or two. And you've got the market cap for the asset class, 357 billion, and Bitcoin dominance at 59%, which personally I would not hate seeing come down, even though I want Bitcoin to do well, and it very well may. I want it to come down because it doesn't mean that Bitcoin's failing. It can still be appreciated in price, but that would mean that the altcoins as a whole are performing better. And I'm a little bit more interested in that, frankly, just personally where I'm at here. And, you know, there's a thought that I've been wanting to share. I want to flesh this out a little bit, too, because it's like, I recognize on the reg, my friends, that XRP is simply following the price action of Bitcoin, right? And so, you know, you might be like, well, why is it then? Like, why invest in XRP? Like, why not any of the other 7,000 plus cryptocurrencies? And it comes down to risk. And maybe I can talk. I want to mention it at least a little bit in this video. I mean, I could really talk about this for the entirety of a video, frankly. So maybe I'll flesh this out even further in another video. But I at least wanted to mention that. Look, there's all sorts of coins that are going to come and go, undeniably. In the short term, it's like, why do I feel safe investing in XRP? Well, again, of course, like I just cited, following Bitcoin, and I think that Bitcoin's going to be here for quite some time, possibly forever. I would love for it to be here forever, in fact. But what makes me feel like I'm taking on less risk than I initially would have guessed jumping into crypto? And this is something I haven't really sufficiently articulated on the channel. I don't think, anyway. And it really, in large part, comes down to the fact that I recognize fully that something could go horrendously wrong with the XRP blockchain. And if that did, like, what if some sort of bug were exposed and you found, you know, you could be manipulated somehow, or you could somehow magically print more XRP. Crazy. I know that'd be crazy stuff. I don't believe that for a second that's going to happen. You're talking about over 50 million ledgers having closed without a single issue. I got it. It's not going to happen. But if something wacky like that happened, or let's say that tomorrow we found out that for some weird reason Ripple just is out of business, what's that going to do to the price of XRP? So, like, I get there are things that in and of itself could cause XRP price to really just plummet and pretty much stay low forever. Like, I understand conceptually. Outside of those things happening, though, I just feel like I'm not only betting on XRP, and I think there's a lot of evidence for the reason that it's logical to feel this way. I'm really betting on the asset class as a whole by investing in one single cryptocurrency. And what I mean by that, I want to be clear on this, is that these coins are all moving in tandem. People are not sufficiently parsing out the differences between cryptocurrencies. So what I wanted to kind of talk about a bit in this video is why am I not afraid of investing in XRP? Because it's not all about the fundamentals today, even though that is ultimately what matters most to me. In the end, yes, I think that utility matters and will win the day, and I'm not willing to invest in a cryptocurrency that doesn't have some sort of utility, that doesn't offer a problem, because I don't know when the market's going to start favoring that. I'm just saying in the short term here, people aren't looking at it like that. And if I had to guess, going through the entirety of this upcoming market cycle, whenever the parabolic price action starts happening for the asset class, for Bitcoin, XRP, I think that it's all going to move more or less in tandem. And yes, there is such a thing as alt season, so I could nuance this out a bit further, but without going into that level of detail, I still feel like that's what this is all looking like. And so as money comes in, it's not going to just go into one cryptocurrency, and there will not be one coin to rule them all. And so this piece was of particular interest to me because I think this guy's actually kind of nailing this on the head here. Raoul Pal, the founder and CEO of Global Macro Investor, who has more than 50% of his capital in Bitcoin, is anticipating a wave of institutional funds to push Bitcoin to $1 million in the next 5 years. Look, crazy things happen in crypto, and I'm not saying that it's impossible for Bitcoin to get to $1 million. I won't even say that it won't in 5 years. If I had to guess, will it get there in 5 years? Yeah, if I had to guess for fun, no. I don't make price predictions, but if I just had to guess for fun, a non-professional, just fun, take a stab at it, I'd just say no. Because the amount of money that flows, like, it does get to a point where the amount of money that would have to flow in to get the multiplier effect to get to that point would be substantial. And so market cap in and of itself is not a reason. I understand 21 trillion market cap. That's not the reason I'm saying that. I'm talking about the money that it actually have to flow in. It would be rather staggering. And that's why I always think about what Dan Moorhead, the CEO of Pantera Capital, says is when he's investing in things, he looks at things that look like they're pretty cheap at the moment, then he just holds them and sells them when they're worth more. And then after he does that, he looks for the next thing that looks like it's kind of cheap. When you're talking about Bitcoin getting not even anywhere near that, I mean, it gets to the point where it's like, is Bitcoin still looking cheap? And so that's why when you consider it from that perspective, it makes me wonder, how long is it going to take for humans, if Bitcoin is going to have staying power truly forever, for as long as the internet exists, if that happens, how long would it take to get there? I guess I'm just saying I'm skeptical of getting to that point in that timeline. But there is no cap. Humans can value whatever asset at whatever price they want, and I fully understand that as well. It's not like there's some sort of artificial ceiling. That's not what I'm saying. Then you've got gold at, like, what is it today? I didn't check the price, but was it like 9 or 10 trillion right there? So you're talking about a higher level than that, which is not inconceivable, especially if you actually somehow do start to get some sort of magical utility around Bitcoin for something other than store value, which is not off the table. I'm happy to admit that. I don't have confidence. There's no reason for me to believe that it's likely for that to happen anytime soon, but hey, if it does, then super duper. But in an interview with Stansberry Research, the former hedge fund manager says that the world economy is moving from the hope phase to the insolvency phase, as investors realize that the economy is going to recover from the pandemic much slower than originally expected. Along with institutional adoption, he believes this narrative may create the perfect setup for a huge long-term Bitcoin bull cycle. And here's a quote: "There's no stimulus around, and we've got more problems to come in Europe, the US, and elsewhere. And businesses don't have enough cash flow. They're closing in droves, and that's what I call the insolvency phase." Yeah, I think $1 million is about right. Just from what I know from the institutions and all of the people I speak to, there is an enormous wall of money coming into this. It's an enormous wall of money. Just the pipes aren't there to allow people to do it yet, and that's coming, but it's on everybody's radar screen, and there's a lot of smart people working on it. Now, I do believe, this is my humble opinion, that a ton of money will be flowing into the crypto asset class. And that's why just understanding, even like me, somebody that isn't interested in learning chart analysis, the concept of sitting down and going through all that technical crap and learning it and all the stupid terms like Ichimoku Cloud, which sounds like a freaking Pokemon. Like, I don't really have interest in sitting down and learning that stuff. I'm more interested in the space, yes, in general, and researching fundamentals. But that said, I still do understand the concept of market cycles. I know that they exist in every asset class, including gold, including the stock market. It's a real thing, unquestionably. And you just get these hyper sped up cycles with crypto for a number of reasons, including, for example, you have 24/7 trading. Imagine if the stock market had 24/7 trading. What would that do? And I think we'll have that ultimately. I think eventually we'll probably get there. I don't know how long it's going to take. But you would have quicker market cycles. People are doing what they're doing, right? You're just speeding it up. There's more opportunity. And so that, and then also when there's a new technology, there tends to be a frenzy around it, which is why you saw the dot-com boom and bust. So that's a part of it too. It's just interesting that when it comes to the crypto asset class compared to the dot-com boom and bust, it's like there was one major bubble that popped and that was it. But with crypto, people still haven't figured it out. And and it's on such a global scale, so those are two primary reasons right there, that the bubble just keeps inflating and then deflating, inflating and deflating. But you keep getting higher lows with each market cycle. And so you just see this happening. And then you sit there and think, might this happen again? Well, I tell you what, if crypto is not going away, and I believe that it is going to be here forever as long as the internet exists, then the answer to me must be yes, which is just an opinion and not financial advice. I believe the answer firmly is yes. And where's it going to ultimately flow? Well, fine. In the next cycle, it's going to flow to start with Bitcoin and then Ethereum and other large cap coins, and then it'll go into mid cap coins, and then smaller cap coins, and then that'll go back into fiat or Bitcoin, and cycle repeats. Like that's in a nutshell what historically has more or less been happening here. And I fully anticipate that's going to happen because I don't have a reason to believe that it's going to be any different this time. I don't see people behaving differently. I don't see people having found out in 2020 what the fundamentals are, what's important, and what coins deserve to have a perpetual, reasonable, or high market price. I don't think people figure that stuff out, but it's still all coming here. And so I'm just going to sit there and be more patient than anyone else, and I think that's going to pay off, and I will continue to invest in general. And so, although Paul considers himself a hybrid adopter of both gold and Bitcoin, he still says that he's considering selling his gold to buy more Bitcoin. And here's another quote. When you get to the macro opportunity, when it's all happening and Bitcoin starts breaking out of these patterns that it's been forming, it is going to massively outperform gold. I am 100% sure of that. So in which case, why would I have a gold allocation? Well, I guess the answer would be to diversify for the sake of it, because it's a hedge. But yeah, obviously you can imagine the amount of money that would have to flow into gold to get it to double in its market cap versus how much would have to flow into Bitcoin to get it to double its market cap. Way less would have to flow into Bitcoin, right? And so if you're talking about an opportunity for asymmetrical gains, well, crypto, to me, seems certainly more appealing. If you're looking for what has historically been some sort of hedge against tumultuous times, that's the narrative, and there seems to be a reasonable amount of data that applies to it. That's gold, right? And so, do what you want to do here. But to me, still diversifying makes a ton of sense. I'm always going to diversify. Even though it certainly is true for me, I believe that the crypto asset class will, over the next decade, outperform stocks, outperform the S&P 500, outperform gold. Pick your asset. I think it's going to be the best performing asset class over the next decade, just flat out. And if I'm wrong, okay, fine, whatever. I don't pretend to be some sort of wizard, but I just look at how little money is in this. I know that there is something to it. I firmly believe that crypto is going to be here forever, and I also see XRP's genuine utility. It's like, what the hell do you guys think is going to happen? I mean, if I'm wrong, point out the flaw in the argument here, and I'd love to have the discussion, because I've been thinking about this for damn near 3 years now, every single day, and I try to poke holes in my own theories. I don't want to believe things that are not true. And so I just try to determine what makes the most rational, logical sense. But my gosh, I think that the multiplier effect for XRP is going to be tremendous. And I'm happy to share my opinion and be vocal about that. And the reason I'm comfortable doing that is because I'm also making it abundantly clear that it's not advice. It's not, doesn't mean go buy or sell and get all excited about it. I just love talking about this stuff because it's fun to think through and it's fun to share ideas. And if I'm actually wrong, I'd rather have my ideas public so somebody can articulate why that is the case. But so far, I haven't found a compelling reason to think that I'm way off the reserves here. but you can tell me what you think. I'll just leave it there. But could not be more optimistic for the future. I'm not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!